Chapter 1751, Too Busy. Xiao Nan transformed back into that soft-hearted and weak-willed person she had been in the past before her car accident. Her voice was as warm and polite as it had been before, but there was a tinge of aggressiveness in her words. In the face of a younger daughter like that, Xiao Dongliang was at a complete loss. However, he had no choice but to answer Xiao Nan. "No, I don't think so." Xiao Dongliang could not deny this. After being in-laws with the Chen family for more than a decade, would he not know how prideful the Chen family was? Even if it was him, he would never have been able to accept his wife cheating on him, let alone Chen Jun, who had such a high status. Chen Jun would never agree to it, and the Chen family would never soften their hearts toward Zijin. She had been caught right in the act with that man. Would they still give his elder daughter a second chance? That was totally impossible. Xiao Nan twitched her lips. "Dad, I think you and I are the only rational ones in our family. I don't want to talk about how Mom treats Zijin, but I can rest easy now that you've said that. I can't be blamed for Xiao Zijin's divorce from Chen Jun. At the very most, if news spreads, then everyone can be a judge and they can tell us whether I should be blamed for Xiao Zijin's divorce, or whether it's truly her own fault. We'll see if I'm the shameless one, or whether she deserves it. Dad, I'm hungry. Please bring more porridge for me tomorrow." Now, she could only lie on the bed and think about the new life she wanted for herself. The first step to cutting all ties with the Qiao family so that she would no longer be controlled by them was to recover and get well. "Ah, all right. I'll bring more for you tomorrow." There was something in Xiao Nan's tone that made Xiao Dongliang feel as though there was something off about Xiao Nan's words. Her assessment of Xiao Zijin was especially harsh. Ever since Xiao Nan woke up, he had not heard his younger daughter address his elder daughter as elder sister. She had simply addressed her by her name. "Nan Nan, are you angry at Zijin? The two of you are biological. Dad, it's only natural to get sleepy after filling your stomach. I want to rest. If you have anything else to say, let's talk about it another time." Xiao Nan was genuinely sleepy. Of course, neither did she want to listen to Xiao Dongliang lecture her about how sisters were once in a lifetime. After being cut off by Xiao Nan, Xiao Dongliang naturally had no way of continuing. Xiao Dongliang quickly stood up and covered Xiao Nan with a thin blanket. "It's cold in the hospital. Don't catch a cold. Don't kick the blanket away. If you're sleepy, have a good rest. That way, you'll recover faster." "Thanks, Dad." Yes. In her current situation, she could only sleep. But the moment she could get up and walk around, that would be the beginning of her new life. Xiao Nan had already done her own calculations but had not shown any sign of injustice in front of Xiao Dongliang. A dream was a dream, and reality was reality. If she could be hospitalized because of Xiao Zijin and Ding Ji the first time, it was entirely possible that a second time could happen. Thankfully, she had not died this time and had even had a beautiful dream. The next time, she might just be sent into the crematorium and be burned to ash. Fortunately, the nurse in charge of taking care of Xiao Nan was really a good person and had told Xiao Nan all about what had taken place in the 3 days that Xiao Nan had been in a coma. After her car accident, Xiao Nan had been sent into the operation theater for an emergency operation. At that time, Ding Ji had wanted to take the 100,000 yuan for Xiao Zijin. Ding Ji felt that Xiao Nan had been knocked down by someone else. Thus, it was only right for that driver to bear all of Xiao Nan's medical expenses. Not only would that driver have to pay for Xiao Nan's medical expenses, but he would also have to compensate Xiao Nan for whatever she would lose mentally and physically. In short, that driver should not even think about shirking any responsibilities. There was no doubt that Ding Ji wanted to extort a huge sum of money from that driver. Of course, that had nothing to do with Xiao Nan, who was still lying in the operating theater. She would only go to such lengths for her daughter, Xiao Zijin. The driver had never intended to shirk any responsibility either. As long as Xiao Nan could be saved, he would personally discuss with her the terms of compensation. He would agree to whatever demands she made as long as they were not too excessive. After all, he had been the one who had knocked her down. In the 3 days that Xiao Nan had been comatose, there had been no one accompanying her because Ding Jiyi had been too busy. Before Xiao Nan's accident, Ding Jiyi spent most of her day by Xiao Zijin's side, feeling sorry that Xiao Zijin had gotten divorced and gotten such a grave disease at such a young age. She would even sob alongside Xiao Zijin. After Xiao Nan's accident, Xiao Zijin expressed that she no longer needed someone to stay by her side. Instead, she instructed Ding Jiyi to settle the more important matters. It was fine with her. All of a sudden, both his daughters had been hospitalized, and both their conditions did not look optimistic. Xiao Dongliang was genuinely busy. Since Ding Jiyi was busy arguing with the driver over their compensation, the responsibility of running around and taking care of their daughters fell squarely on Xiao Dongliang's shoulders. "Nurse, can you give me that person's mobile number? I want to speak to him personally." Of course. Not only did the nurse give the driver's number to Xiao Nan, but she even handed her phone over. Nowadays, everyone used smartphones. Only Xiao Nan alone still used an old-fashioned phone because it was simply cheaper. The phone that had been with Xiao Nan for the past 5 years had been smashed in the car accident. Only upon contacting the driver did Xiao Nan find out that the driver was willing to compensate her for the 100,000 yuan she had spent on her surgery. Moreover, the driver was even willing to give her an extra 100,000 yuan of compensation. In other words, the driver was willing to fork out 200,000 yuan to take responsibility for this accident. But Ding Jiyi had disagreed and had even asked for the sky by demanding a compensation of 500,000 yuan. Ding Jiyi explained that her daughter, Xiao Nan, was truly a money-making machine. Apart from her full-time job, Xiao Nan also held 2 part-time jobs. Such a serious car accident could result in Xiao Nan not being able to work as per normal for at least a year or 2. Given Xiao Nan's abilities, she could earn up to 20 to 30,000 yuan in a month. In just a year, she would earn 360,000 yuan. And that was just counting her basic salary. If you added her hospitalization bills and all the tonics and medications she would require after being discharged, that would amount to at least 140,000 yuan. Together, that would make up 500,000 yuan. She would not give in on this matter. Because of this, the driver had been infuriated. His attitude had already been good enough. Neither had he said that 200,000 yuan was the most that he was willing to give. There was always room for discussion. But Ding Jiyi had been too vicious by immediately demanding 500,000 yuan. What did she mean by working 2 to 3 part-time jobs and earning 20 to 30,000 yuan in a month? Based on those calculations, that young lady whom he knocked down would have to work for at least 20 hours every day. Was she human? Even oxen did not work as hard as this girl did. He did not completely believe the other party's words. Such an intense work schedule would be alright only once in a while. Chapter 1752, Wait a minute. But if this young lady had worked in this manner for 1 to 2 months, or even for years, he would really have to investigate whether that young lady had been hospitalized because of the accident or whether she had been hospitalized due to exhaustion. In the face of Ding Jiyi's harassment and absurd reasoning, the driver could only feel that he was down on luck. If not for the lack of money, he would have chosen to simply spend 500,000 yuan to end this once and for all. In that way, he would never need to meet the Qiao family ever again. Unfortunately, he had not been able to do so, and the matter was thus unresolved. Upon receiving Xiao Nan's call, he was actually quite surprised. Even though he had already been troubled by Ding Jiyi's unreasonable demands for the past 3 days and his life was now in a mess, he was still rather rational when speaking to Xiao Nan. "Oh, it's you, Miss Xiao. I'm really sorry about what happened that day. You've suffered so much because of me. I was about to send my car for repair that day. But who would have expected that to happen on the way to the car workshop? The driver could only blame his rotten luck. If he had known that such an accident would happen, he would never have driven past the hospital just to beat a few traffic lights. What happened that day was an accident. You're to be blamed, but so am I. Xiaonan did not pin all blame on the other party. It was because she had gotten into an argument with Ding Jiyi that day and had gotten into a fight on the road, with Ding Jiyi even pulling her hair. Otherwise, given her usual cautious and prudent character, she would definitely have avoided it. As for the issue of compensation, I would like to ask a favor of you. Upon hearing the word compensation, the other party's face immediately darkened. This was entirely Ding Jiyi's fault. But Xiaonan was the party involved, so he was still willing to listen to Xiaonan patiently. Miss Xiao, you can be straightforward with your words. But I'll say it again. I'll do my best and do whatever I can. I'm sorry, but I won't accept anything too excessive and demanding. Money did not grow on trees. He thought that he was already paying for his actions. But the problem was that someone was trying to treat him as a sacrificial lamb. How could she dare to ask for 500,000? No one had even died. I know that my mom has been harassing and bothering you about the issue of the compensation. I have to apologize to you for that. You can do whatever you like to placate my mom or simply not open the door for her. I'm the party involved. Even if we were to have a settlement, I'll have to be the one going down to the police station to authorize it. 500,000 yuan is quite a lot indeed. How about you prepare 300,000? But remember that you must hand the money to me directly, and not to anyone else in my family. Once I've gotten the money, I'll go to the police station to sign the settlement with you immediately. What do you think? It was not as though she had died. Even though she was already reaching her 40s, she would work hard to earn money if she really wanted it. If Ding Jiyi wanted to make a fortune, she should just put her hopes on Xiao Zijin. As for her, yes, sure. The other party was stunned. He had never expected that Xiaonan would be so decisive. He had no choice. Ding Jiyi had been too domineering and had repeatedly told him that she had the final say and that her younger daughter would definitely listen to her. If she said they would have a settlement, then they would have a settlement. If she refused, her younger daughter would never go against her. Seeing Ding Jiyi's fierce appearance, the driver completely believed her words. With such a stern and fierce mother, there was no way a child would dare to disobey her. But the woman who had been knocked down was so bold as to secretly contact him. She even reduced the compensation amount from 500,000 to 300,000. Moreover, she requested that the money be handed over to her personally. Only then would the matter be resolved. He could not care less about what the Qiao family's situation was like. Now that this matter could be resolved and Xiaonan was not too demanding in terms of the compensation, it was a good thing for him. Miss Qiao, it's great that you're so understanding. Let's do as you said. Are you feeling all right in the hospital? Rest well and we'll get everything done once you've been discharged. Even if the driver had managed to guess that there was a conflict amongst the Qiao family, he simply acted as though he knew nothing about it at all. His responsibility and guilt were toward the party concerned, Xiaonan, not Ding Jiyi. With Xiaonan's permission, the driver immediately started avoiding Ding Jiyi. Once Xiaonan had recovered and could personally settle this matter, he would get in contact with Xiaonan then. Because the driver hid away, Ding Jiyi was unable to find him and continue quarreling. As such, Ding Jiyi was getting more riled up lately. People nowadays really have no conscience. He knocked down someone who was alive and well, causing her to almost lose her life. It turns out that human life isn't worth much, after all. I only asked for 500,000, not even 1,000,000 yuan. But he's gone into hiding. Unless he wants to be imprisoned, I'll see where he can hide and how long he can continue hiding. With such a huge sum of money, there would still be half of it left even after using it for Zijin's kidney transplant. With the money, they would no longer have to worry about leading good lives even though Zijin had gotten a divorce. Greed flashed past Xiao Zijin's eyes. 500,000 yuan was not a lot, but it was still a rather significant sum of money. Even though she had been married to Chen Jun for so many years, the Chen family had never given her so much money. She had never expected Xiao Nan to be rather useful in this aspect. She had simply allowed herself to be knocked down and this would bring about 500,000 yuan. Mom, Xiao Nan got into an accident and she's still lying on a hospital bed. So what will happen to her kidney? Xiao Zijin got anxious thinking about her illness. For every day that the transplant was delayed, her risk of succumbing to her illness only increased. Unfortunately, it just so happened that kidneys were not an abundant resource. Donors had to be willing volunteers. A good 80 to 90% of donors were people who were already dead. Xiao Zijin would only get to undergo a kidney transplant if someone was a willing organ donor. Xiao Nan had been extremely lucky and had not been killed in the car accident. Indeed, one had to have a string of bad luck before the tides turned. If Xiao Nan had been killed in the accident, the compensation would not just be a measly 500,000 yuan. It could possibly have gone up to 1,000,000 yuan. Then, she would not only have a kidney. After her surgery, she might even have 1,000,000 yuan in her bank account. With 1,000,000 yuan, she would have no problems getting a divorce from Chen Jun. She was confident that she would be able to get remarried to another man. At that time, she would have money and a house, and perhaps, she might even be able to find herself a handsome young man. Anyway, no matter how good the Chen family's conditions were, Chen Jun had only always given her a paltry allowance every month after their marriage. Every time he handed the money over, Chen Jun never failed to show his disdain for her. Spending someone else's money would not be more comfortable than spending one's own money. Unfortunately, all these were nothing but fantasies. The reality was that Xiao Nan was still alive. And it was also true that the kidney was still in Xiao Nan's body. Why had Xiao Nan not died? What a pity! What do you mean? There's nothing we can do but wait. Ding Jiyi sighed. Xiao Nan's not dead. Since she's still alive, I can't make decisions for her about her kidney. She'll have to agree to it. She just woke up the day before yesterday, so her body's still frail and weak. I asked the doctor in private, and the doctor said that there's no way Xiao Nan can undergo surgery to donate her kidney to you. Chapter 1753, Additional Nourishment. If Xiao Nan's willing, your surgery can still proceed once Xiao Nan recovers. Doesn't that mean I still have to wait for a long time? Xiao Nan will probably need another few more months to recover after this car accident, so she'll only be able to donate her kidney in a few months' time. She hated that she had no choice but to be hospitalized. Looking at herself in the mirror, her face was only getting worse by the day. Her skin had turned yellow and pale, and she felt that she had become so ugly that she could not bear to look at herself in the mirror. Thinking about the debauchery and luxury in her life previously, and thinking then again about how the smell of perfume had been replaced by formaldehyde, Xiao Zijin's mood fell to rock bottom. She questioned once again why Xiao Nan had been knocked down but had not died. To her, Xiao Nan would only be the slightest bit useful in this sense in her entire lifetime. But it turned out that Xiao Nan was so useless and could not even be put to good use. She could not understand the point of people like Xiao Nan staying alive. She was already an old woman of almost 40. She was neither married nor with a child. She did not have money or a house. To Xiao Nan, life was a pain. Her wish for Xiao Nan's death was for Xiao Nan's own good. Death would relieve Xiao Nan of such a hard life. She would burn more paper money for Xiao Nan and hire someone to conduct funeral rites for Xiao Nan so that Xiao Nan would be able to be reincarnated to have a fresh start and lead a better life. This would be a mutually beneficial situation. She would benefit, Xiao Nan would benefit, and everyone would benefit. So why was Xiao Nan still alive and not dead? I guess 3 months at the very least. Ding Jiyi answered hesitatingly. It was said that one had to rest for 100 days after injuring their bones and tendons. This time, Xiao Nan had sustained multiple fractures from the car accident. Thinking about what the doctor had told her frustrated Ding Jiyi greatly. We don't really understand all those medical terms. When Xiao Nan was hit by the car, her bones were the ones that were affected. Her kidney was not injured at all. In that case, why can't she undergo surgery to donate her kidney to you? They already had the sum of money from the compensation in addition to Xiao Nan's kidney that would be voluntarily donated. Curing Zijin's illness no longer required them to fork out 200,000, as was the case in the past. With money and a kidney, all they were lacking now was time. Sigh. Zijin was suffering so much. Why did she have to suffer so much at such a young age? Another 3 months. Xiao Zijin's eyebrows were knitted together. Can't you discuss it with the doctor and try to push the surgery forward? No matter how early he manages to push it to, Xiao Nan has to fully recover. I don't think the doctor will be willing to give in on this matter. Xiao Zijin ground her teeth. It was really too hard to endure the pain and suffering of living with an illness. The thought of having to wait another 3 more months before getting a kidney transplant filled Xiao Zijin's heart with unease. Who could guarantee that she would still be alive in 3 months for a recovered Xiao Nan to donate her kidney to her? Moreover, she knew that with Xiao Nan alive now, her mom would not have any say in Xiao Nan donating her kidney. What would happen if Xiao Nan refused to donate her kidney to her? Mom, how about this? Why don't you spend more time with Xiao Nan these few days? Xiao Nan needs someone beside her to take care of her now that she's gotten into a car accident. Besides, we still need her approval for the kidney donation. Ask Dad to make some nice and nutritious food to nourish Xiao Nan. This will be good for both Xiao Nan and me. Mom, do you understand what I'm saying? Ding Jiyi stared wide-eyed at her. You can't be alone. You don't have to care about that wretched girl. I understand what you mean. I was the one who gave birth to her. Without me, she wouldn't even be alive. She'll have no choice but to listen to me if I ask her to donate her kidney to you. Just look at her. She's never once gone against me since she was young. There's no need to waste your energy worrying about this. Don't worry. One of her kidneys will definitely be yours. As for the other thing that you said, it should be feasible. I'll get your dad to make more delicious food to nourish that wretched girl. As long as she recovers well, you might not even have to wait for another 3 months. People who were sick already had bad temperaments to begin with. She had only instructed Ding Jiyi to take care of Xiao Nan for the sake of that kidney in Xiao Nan's body, so Ding Jiyi's words were especially pleasing to Xiao Zijin's ears. Mom, I listen to whatever you say. I'll do whatever you ask me to. What a good girl. Ding Jiyi caressed Xiao Zijin's head and helped Xiao Zijin lie down to rest. Following that, she made another call to Xiao Dongliang, asking him to nourish Xiao Nan's body so that she would be able to recover. She had placed all of the family's money in the drawer. Ding Jiyi clearly told Xiao Dongliang to purchase whatever was good for Xiao Nan's body and whatever would help Xiao Nan recover earlier. He did not have to worry about the prices at all. Her heart ached for that money. Ding Jiyi knew that she would have at least a few 100,000 yuan that would be deposited into her bank account once this matter was settled. All these things to nourish Xiao Nan only cost a few thousand yuan. Besides, she had her sights set on one of Xiao Nan's kidneys. No matter how one looked at it, Ding Jiyi was the one who was gaining the most out of this deal. It was all worth it. She was not at a disadvantage at all. As for Xiao Nan, she had no choice but to let Xiao Nan take advantage of her. After all, she had given birth to Xiao Nan. Nan Nan, smell this. Doesn't this turtle soup smell nice? This is a good turtle. It's a wild one that's especially nourishing. I didn't buy those that grew up eating turtle feed. Wild ones are better. One turtle alone cost me 200 to 300 yuan. I made some soup for you. Be sure to drink more of it. Qiao Dongliang was elated over having made something good for Qiao Nan. He had always felt guilty toward his younger daughter, Qiao Nan. Unfortunately, Ding Ji had the final say in their family. They were both his daughters. Since Qiao Nan was sensible and was willing to make sacrifices for their family, and since his elder daughter always encountered different problems from time to time, Qiao Dongliang had no choice but to help Qiao Zijin get her life together first. It was rare for Ding Ji to let loose and allow him to treat Qiao Nan kindly. As such, Qiao Dongliang was overjoyed. He finally had this rare opportunity to make it up to his younger daughter. Nan Nan, your mom specially instructed me to buy this wild turtle for you to nourish your body. Your sister is still sick in bed and can't come to visit you, but you must know that she cares about you as well. You know how stubborn your mom is. She listens to only one person in our entire family, and that is your elder sister. We're all a family. Even when the bone is broken, there'll still be blood. Blood is always thicker than water. Let bygones be bygones. Look at how we've come together in such a critical moment. This is truly a family. Qiao Nan had been drinking her turtle soup with a clear conscience. Upon hearing Qiao Dongliang's lecture, Qiao Nan finished her soup and asked, "Dad, do you know what happened before the car accident that day?" Qiao Nan's casual words caused Qiao Dongliang, who had just been thinking about having peace in the family and being able to live harmoniously together, stiffen. Qiao Nan wiped her mouth before continuing. "Oh, based on your reaction, I guess Mom must have told you about it. Dad, your turtle soup is really delicious. Is there any more? I would like another bowl of it." Chapter 1754, Not Picky. No matter what kind of tricks Ding Ji and Qiao Zijin were playing, she would join them. All her sacrifices for the Qiao family and the money that she gave to her parents out of filial piety was enough to pay for an entire pond's worth of turtles, let alone one wild turtle. "Nan Nan, I didn't mean to discuss this so early. I wanted to wait for you to get better to discuss the matter. But since you brought it up today, I have no choice but to talk about it. Nan Nan, you must know that you and Zijin are the closest kin you both have in this world. Zijin was unlucky that something like that happened to her. You have to help her." When he had first heard that they would have to take one of his younger daughter's kidneys for his elder daughter, Qiao Dongliang had disagreed. The problem was that Ding Ji had flown into a rage and questioned Qiao Dongliang for disagreeing. Qiao Nan had 2 kidneys. They only wanted one. It was not as though Qiao Nan would die from it. But it was different with Qiao Zijin. Qiao Zijin had gotten uremia. Each day's delay would only increase Qiao Zijin's risk of dying. Without Qiao Nan's kidney, Qiao Zijin would definitely die. Was there anything more important than a life? Hearing Ding Ji's reasoning, Qiao Dongliang thought about it and agreed. It was only natural for Qiao Nan to feel aggrieved. If a moment of suffering could save his closest relative's life, he would definitely do it if he was the one in that position. Actually, Zijin is our daughter. Nan Nan is still young and has a long way ahead of her. Why don't both of us get ourselves tested? If it's possible, we can donate our kidneys to Zijin instead. How's that? No. No way. Ding Ji and Qiao Zijin unanimously rejected his suggestion. Ding Ji's reasoning was simple. Qiao Dongliang was still working and was the breadwinner of the family. For a man, losing a kidney was a huge matter. What would happen to their family if Qiao Dongliang's health were to be affected after he lost a kidney? Qiao Zijin's reasoning was even simpler. She did not even care for Ding Ji's kidney, even though Ding Ji was a full-time housewife. She disdained Ding Ji's kidney for being old and useless. So how could she possibly want a kidney from Qiao Dongliang, who had been striving so hard for the Qiao family all these years? There was no way it would be better than Qiao Nan's. Qiao Nan was even 2 years younger than Qiao Zijin herself. Having a kidney that was younger than her original one created the illusion for Qiao Zijin that she would be the same age as Qiao Nan and be 2 years younger as long as she had Qiao Nan's kidney. "Dad, you already work so hard. I'm sure it's taken a toll on your body. What will you do if you donate a kidney to me? If that's the case, I'd rather die than undergo a kidney transplant. Xiao Zijin's eyes brimmed with tears, and her words sounded genuine and sincere. Anyway, Xiao Zijin had already practiced these same words on Ding Jiyi earlier. Now that Xiao Zijin was saying them for the second time, it was nothing more than a walk in the park. That's right. Ding Jiyi nodded frantically, somehow feeling as though Xiao Zijin's words sounded familiar. Zijin is just feeling sorry for you as her father. Don't let Zijin down. This may sound harsh, but you treat Jiaonan so well. Do you think Jiaonan has no conscience at all and would rather you donate your kidney to Zijin than make such a sacrifice? If that's the case, it means she doesn't even feel sorry for you, her dad. In that case, why are you even trying to give so much to her? In short, the final result was that the kidney had to be donated by Jiaonan. Neither Ding Jiyi's nor Qiao Dongliang's would do. Qiao Dongliang was only one person against Ding Jiyi and Xiao Zijin together. Under the persuasion of the mother and daughter pair, Qiao Dongliang eventually gave in and agreed to this matter. Donating a kidney should not have any impact on Qiaonan's life, and neither would it threaten Qiaonan's life. But Xiao Zijin needed this kidney to save her life. Weighing the costs and benefits, Qiao Dongliang quickly made a decision. He knew that Jiaonan had run out of the hospital unhappily and had been knocked down by a car because she had heard about Ding Jiyi's and Xiao Zijin's plan. But in the face of his elder daughter's imminent death, there was no way Qiao Dongliang could judge the matter fairly. It was only natural for him to be biased in this matter. However, doing was another thing. Qiao Dongliang told Jiaonan about it in her face, but he was not Ding Jiyi and was not as bold or thick-skinned as Ding Jiyi was to say, "Yes, I do have such a plan. I want you to donate a kidney to Xiao Zijin so that she can be saved. The only contribution you're making toward our family now is donating your organs. When Xiao Zijin needs them, you'll have to give them to Xiao Zijin without expecting anything in return so that Xiao Zijin will be able to live a long life. Dad, your culinary skills are improving. They're almost better than Mom's." Seeing how Qiao Dongliang's face had become so flushed that it resembled a pig's liver and that guilt was written all over his face, Jiaonan smirked in her heart. This was different from what had happened in her dream. In her dream, her dad had done some practical things and had tried his best to correct his heart that leaned toward Xiao Zijin. That had given her the opportunity to live a normal life. But in this life, her dad was only good to her in his words. His heart was not for her, let alone his actions. If Ding Jiyi had not allowed him to do so, her dad would never have the guts to take all that money that belonged to Jiaonan in the first place to buy some wild turtle to nourish her body. Jiaonan knew exactly why Ding Jiyi and Xiao Zijin were being so generous to her all of a sudden. They were trying to get her kidney in exchange for a few good meals. There were truly no better or shrewder businesspeople than Ding Jiyi and Xiao Zijin in this world. Qiao Dongliang felt as though his face was on fire and could not even raise his head up in front of Jiaonan. "Good. It's good that you like it. I'll make some more for you tomorrow. Nan, do you have anything in particular that you want to eat? I'll make it for you." His younger daughter might have been smiling and her tone might have sounded cheery. But her deep and dark gaze sent a chill down Qiao Dongliang's spine. There was something amiss. Could it be that this car accident had not only injured his younger daughter physically? Why did he feel as though his younger daughter had suffered a blow to the head? Nan seemed to have completely transformed into a different person. "No, Dad. I'm not picky. I'll eat whatever you cook. I believe that you'll take good care of me while I'm in the hospital." If he did not take good care of her so that she could recover and be discharged, where would Xiao Zijin get a kidney for her kidney transplant from? Did they really take her for a fool? Did they think that she had no idea what this turtle soup was for? "Are you all right, Nan? If you have anything on your mind and feel aggrieved, shall I stay with you for a chat? I'll listen to whatever you have to say." Xiao Dongliang felt exceptionally uneasy and wanted to stay behind to have a heart-to-heart chat with Xiao Nan to counsel her. Chapter 1755, Still all right. They were all a family. There was no need to get angry over this matter. Blood was thicker than water, after all. No matter what happened, their family would still be their closest kin. No one had wanted such a horrible thing to happen to Zijin. If it was not a matter of life and death, he would never have agreed to his elder daughter taking a kidney from his younger daughter. It was all right for family members to have conflicts among themselves or even throw tantrums at one another. But at such a critical moment, the Chiao family had to stand together and not leave anyone in the lurch. Nan Nan had to donate her kidney to save Zijin. But he could not expect Nan Nan to donate a kidney with nothing in return, so he had thought it through and discussed it with Zijin. Once Xiao Nan saved Zijin's life, Zijin would have to get Nan Nan a sum of money. At her age, Nan Nan was still unmarried. Neither did she have a boyfriend. At the very least, she should have some money to buy herself a house. She could not possibly squeeze with others in a rented apartment for the rest of her life. Xiao Nan chuckled and behaved normally. She had no sign of getting upset at all. Dad, why would I feel aggrieved? Should I feel aggrieved? Are you saying that someone in our family has wronged me? Dad, if I've really been wronged, do you think I should continue feeling aggrieved? Or should I do something about it and get rid of it? Did he want to instill some values in her? Oh, sorry. She had just finished 2 bowls of turtle soup and had no extra space to hold all that poisonous chicken soup. Aggrieved? Did she really have to say it out loud? Would anyone with eyes and a heart not know about it? If he really wanted to treat her well, her dad should have taken practical action by now. She would not even have had to say a thing. Perhaps her dad's turtle soup had been too salty that she was feeling slightly thirsty now. Because her mouth was dry, she was unwilling to say anything more. Xiao Nan's questions left Xiao Dongliang speechless. Her tone had not been sharp, nor had her voice been very loud. Neither had her questions been harsh. His younger daughter's expression was still cheery and bright, but hearing her questions made Xiao Dongliang feel as though someone had slapped him hundreds of times, that his face was swollen and his mouth could not even be opened to speak. You. Aren't you sleepy? Have a good rest. I'll visit you again tomorrow. If you think of anything that you want to eat, remember to tell me. You can always borrow a phone from the nurse to reach me. If you don't have any cravings, I'll see to it tomorrow. Xiao Dongliang could not understand how Xiao Nan seemed to have transformed into a completely different person after being knocked down by that car. The Xiao Nan of the past used to be cowardly and timid, but she yearned for family affection. Xiao Dongliang had no idea how longing affection felt like, but he knew that Xiao Nan looked at him and Ding Ji with a different gaze as that when she looked at others. Ever since Xiao Nan woke up from her coma, he had never seen that same gaze in his younger daughter's eyes again. Xiao Dongliang had once been frustrated at how his younger daughter was too obedient to Ding Ji and would do whatever Ding Ji instructed her to. She was such a good young lady but was still unmarried even though she was about to turn 40. She had even given up all of her income for the family, only for it to end up in Xiao Zijin's pockets. When his younger daughter had not been able to stand up for herself, Xiao Dongliang had been upset. Now, his younger daughter had finally toughened up and had undoubtedly become more opinionated. Her words now were like invisible weapons, piercing through his heart. Now that his younger daughter had suddenly undergone such a drastic change, Xiao Dongliang was upset too. He felt that his younger daughter was not as obedient as before and no longer respected him as much as before. She no longer seemed like a good child. All right, Dad. See you tomorrow. Xiao Nan had seen Xiao Dongliang's dodging and complicated gaze and expression, but he was cautious not to let that show. She bid Xiao Dongliang goodbye politely and kindly as though she was an obedient child. Only when Xiao Dongliang shut the room door and got out of Xiao Nan's sight did he finally let out a sigh of relief and relax his stiffened back. That won't do. I have to consult Nan Nan's doctor and ask him to get Nan Nan's brain checked. Was her head really not injured at all in the accident? Compared to his daughter now, Xiao Dongliang still preferred that daughter he had in the past. That daughter in the past had a mild temper and could not speak up for herself. He could not deny that it was exactly because she was mild-tempered and did whatever others instructed her to that there had been peace in their family, and they had been able to avoid many conflicts. If Xiao Nan had been any stronger and had known to defend her own interests, the Qiao family would have been in chaos long ago. They would never have enjoyed such peaceful lives. The peace in the Qiao family could be attributed to Xiao Nan's repeated concessions and sacrifices. Xiao Dongliang heaved a huge sigh of relief, and Xiao Nan's gaze returned to their normal state of calmness. The corners of Xiao Nan's lips curled up into a sarcastic smile. This was not her dream world, so everything was different. She was unsure if Ding Ji had taught Xiao Zijin in the same manner as she had in her dream, but the reality was that Xiao Zijin still shared a close relationship with Ding Ji. But her dad, Xiao Dongliang, was not being taken seriously and was even being ordered around. Xiao Dongliang probably only had one daughter in his heart, and that was Xiao Zijin. She had returned from her world of fantasy to reality. Based on what she had sacrificed for the family in the past, as well as this accident, she had paid all her debts to the Qiao family. She had almost given her life too. Xiao Nan stretched lazily and yawned. She no longer had anything to do with the Qiao family. To her, the most important thing she had to do was to recover. Only then would she be able to make detailed plans for her future. After having this conversation, Xiao Dongliang visited Xiao Nan daily with 3 meals each day, sending Xiao Nan delicious food to nourish her body. As for that topic that had been talked about the first time, neither Xiao Dongliang nor Xiao Nan bothered to bring it up again and had a tacit understanding to simply treat it as though they had never mentioned it before. Especially Xiao Dongliang, who had been greatly affected by that conversation. Every time Xiao Nan finished eating, Xiao Dongliang would always find an excuse to take his leave. Just that single heart-to-heart talk had nearly frightened Xiao Dongliang out of his wits. As such, Xiao Dongliang had given up on getting through to Xiao Nan and decided to simply take care of Xiao Nan's meals. In the past, Xiao Nan had suffered too badly and her body had been too skinny. Having been nourished by Xiao Dongliang's meals for 2 months, Xiao Nan not only recovered well but had also put on some weight. She no longer drew pity because of her frail frame. The nurse in the hospital was exceptionally nice. Actually, if we were to leave your mom and sister out of the equation, your dad treats you pretty well. Chapter 1756, Good that he changed for the better. It's good that he changed for the better in the end. It's all thanks to your father taking such good care of you that the doctor said that you've recovered more quickly than usual. All these meals over the course of 2 months probably added up to 2,000 to 3,000 yuan. Thankfully, there was still someone with a conscience in their family. The nurse did not mention how there had not been a single person from the Qiao family who had come to visit Xiao Nan in the few days following her accident, even when she had been in a critical state. That included Xiao Dongliang, whose performance had suddenly changed for the better afterward. She was afraid that Xiao Nan would be in a bad mood upon learning about her family's behavior. It was better to chat about things that brightened one's mood. But the nurse had not expected that Xiao Nan would do something out of the ordinary and smiled along. My elder sister said that my parents are old and their kidneys are unsuitable. If she were to wait for a kidney donor, she would have to rely on other people's willingness to donate. She's afraid that she won't be able to wait for such a long time. That's why they're taking such good care of me now. If I don't recover quickly, how would they be able to take a kidney from me to save their precious daughter? The nurse stared wide-eyed at Xiao Nan. Miss Xiao, aren't you overthinking it? They probably would not go so far, right? Taking care of Miss Xiao for the sake of a kidney transplant for the elder Miss Xiao in the other ward? This. Xiao Nan laughed but did not say a word. If the nurse had not mistaken that there was still a good person in the Qiao family, she would not have said such a thing. Although she was almost 40, Xiao Nan wanted to be willful just this once. When she was younger, she had never been willful. In her dream, she had brother's eye taking care of her, so there had been no need for her to be willful. But now that she was at this heartbreaking age of 39, Xiao Nan wanted to be willful and kick up a fuss. Onlookers knew all about the Qiao family's dirty laundry. Since they already knew approximately 90% of what was going on in the Qiao family, she had no qualms about letting them in on what was really going on. There were still good people in the Qiao family? He. That had to be the funniest joke she had heard in her entire life. The nurse hurried out of Xiao Nan's ward and happened to bump into Xiao Dongliang, who was inquiring about Xiao Nan's recovery status with the doctor. Seeing the thermal flask in Xiao Dongliang's hands, the nurse walked over and listened in on the conversation. When the doctor told him that Xiao Nan was recovering better than usual patients, Xiao Dongliang was overjoyed. The nurse frowned and tested the waters. "Doctor, Miss Xiao said that she hasn't been feeling quite right in some other areas and wants to do a full body checkup. Do you think that's possible? She's not feeling well? Where's the discomfort? Is her kidney all right?" Xiao Dongliang was extraordinarily anxious because he was clear that any discomfort in Xiao Nan's body would have a direct impact on whether Xiao Zaijian's kidney transplant could be conducted as soon as possible. The nurse's heart dropped. No, Miss Xiao had not been overthinking it. The Qiao family did indeed have such a plan. Earlier on, she had heard that it was exactly because of the Qiao family's plan for Miss Qiao to donate her kidney to the elder Miss Qiao that she had gotten into an argument with her mother and run out of the hospital. That was how she had gotten into an accident. She had initially thought that someone had simply made up this story. But now, it seemed like it was probably the truth. In such a case, if Miss Qiao was willing to donate her kidney, it would be out of her love for her sister. But if she was unwilling to do so, that was her prerogative too. Even if Miss Qiao were to donate her kidney, the elder Miss Qiao might not survive either. What if she recovered from uremia but her body rejected the donated organ? Besides, it was not entirely risk-free for Miss Qiao to donate her kidney. There would be impacts on her future life. In short, it was up to Miss Qiao to decide whether to donate her kidney or not. Even if everyone got along well as a family, even biological sisters would have to consider it carefully before deciding on something as serious as donating a kidney, let alone the Qiao family who were clearly not on good terms with each other. The whole family, apart from Miss Qiao, seemed like a normal family of 3. But Miss Qiao seemed like a free gift that came along with a mobile phone plan. She was practically worthless in their eyes. Miss Qiao's feeling discomfort in other areas? Then, we'll definitely need to do a comprehensive check on her, the doctor said responsibly. I'll get more details from Miss Qiao later when I go on my rounds. All right, doctor. The nurse was not at all worried that her lie would be exposed. Ever since Xiao Nan got into an accident, she had been mostly confined to her bed. Since she had little chance of getting down from her bed, it was only natural to feel discomfort. Even a healthy person had times when he would feel discomfort, much less a patient lying in bed. I won't disturb you any further, doctor. I'll go check on my younger daughter. Xiao Dongliang was uneasy and especially worried that any abnormalities in Xiao Nan's health would affect Xiao Zaijian's kidney transplant. 2 months had passed, and while Xiao Nan had gotten better with time, Xiao Zaijian had only become frilier and weaker by the day. It was as though the weight that Xiao Nan had put on had fallen off Xiao Zaijian's body. Xiao Nan had become nourished and healthy, while Xiao Zaijian, who had always been chubbier than Xiao Nan, had finally accomplished her lifelong goal of losing weight and had lost over 5 kilograms. In the face of such a situation, Xiao Dongliang was in a frenzy. He was dying for Xiao Nan to jump up from her bed right then and there so that she could undergo a kidney transplant to save Xiao Zaijian. Even though their family now had the means to let Xiao Zaijian undergo this surgery, Xiao Dongliang was afraid that Xiao Zaijian might run out of time and would pass away before a legal source of kidney appeared. In that way, Xiao Nan had become the most crucial playing piece to Jiao Zijan's survival. Nan Nan, I heard from the nurse that you're feeling unwell? Does it hurt? Why didn't you tell me about it earlier? Even a blind man could feel the worry in Xiao Dongliang's eyes. Besides, Xiao Nan was not blind. In fact, her eyes were sharper than ever. An idea flashed through her mind and she guessed what had happened. You have it hard enough now that you have to run around for me. I didn't want to let you worry about me. Don't worry. My hospitalization bills are being taken care of. I definitely won't hide it from the doctor if I'm feeling unwell. I'll be sure to get the doctor to check everything thoroughly before I get discharged. I'll be fine, Dad. Upon receiving a confirmation from Xiao Nan, Xiao Dongliang's face soured in an instant. He cared about Nan Nan's health, but he cared more about whether Zijan would be able to survive without Nan Nan's kidney. Nan Nan, if you really want me to worry less and rest assured, you must take care of yourself. Don't let anything happen to your body. Do you understand? He could only hope that there was nothing majorly wrong with Nan Nan. After all, he himself had not been hospitalized, but he also felt discomfort from time to time. Such occurrences were only natural. As long as Nan Nan was fine, it would not be long before Zijan could undergo her kidney transplant. All right. I understand. Chapter 1757, Easy to deal with. Neither did Xiao Nan bother to rebuke him. Instead, she graciously agreed. Since Xiao Dongliang had made delectable dishes for her, Xiao Nan gobbled them all down very willingly. Seeing Xiao Nan eating heartily, Xiao Dongliang let out his first smile of the day. Being able to eat is a blessing. I'm really happy to see you have such a good appetite. I'll bring more for you tomorrow. Nan Nan, don't scare yourself. I think you're in quite good health. Even if you're feeling any discomfort, it won't be much of a problem. He had never seen anyone who was truly unwell being able to eat like Nan Nan. Okay. Xiao Nan twitched the corners of her lips but remained silent. As usual, she simply listened to whatever Xiao Dongliang had to say. After Xiao Dongliang finished packing his things, his mood sank. Rest well now that you've finished eating. Try to recover as soon as possible. I might not be able to send dinner over personally because I have to work, but I'll get someone else to bring dinner for you. Thanks, Dad. There's no need to thank me. I'm your dad. Taking care of you is my duty. Have some rest. I'll visit you again tomorrow. Knowing that he would be able to keep both his daughters by his side and that Jiao Zijan would no longer be in danger, Xiao Dongliang left in a jolly mood. The moment the door closed, Xiao Nan laughed. Her laugh was a much happier and cheery one as compared to Xiao Dongliang's. Immediately, Xiao Nan climbed out of her bed, stripped off her hospital gown, and changed into her usual clothes. Then, she picked up her bag and headed downstairs. In these 2 months, Xiao Nan had been particularly thankful for Ding Ji and Xiao Dongliang's indifference and nonchalance toward her. Xiao Nan had indeed sustained many fractures in this accident, but thankfully, she had not injured her legs. And now, even her arm that she had injured was no longer much of a problem. In the past 2 months, Xiao Nan had actively cooperated with the doctors to undergo rehabilitation. Without her determination and persistence, there was no way Xiao Nan would have recovered faster than ordinary patients if she had relied solely on Xiao Dongliang's soups for nourishment. As such, neither Xiao Dongliang nor Ding Ji had any idea that Xiao Nan could get down from her bed on her own. Although her movements were slower than ordinary people's, and it was rather inconvenient for her to move around, the fact was that Xiao Nan was no longer a bedridden patient who had to rely on others to eat, drink, pee, and poop. Hello, Miss Xiao. It's nice to meet you. I'm really very sorry about what happened. The driver's face was filled with guilt upon meeting Xiao Nan. He had knocked her down, so he should have visited Xiao Nan much earlier. It was just that. The thought of Ding Ji made the driver's head hurt. It could be said that Miss Chiao's mother was the most difficult and annoying person he had ever encountered in his life. No, I understand the situation. You being here today is already proof that you feel sorry toward me and that you feel bad that I'm having it harder than you are. Let's hurry and get the discharge procedures done so that I can go with you to the police station to sign the settlement. That way, both of us can avoid any trouble in the future. Qiao Nan cut right to the chase. After all, she and Qiao Zijin were staying in the same hospital. Her dad had just left, so she did not have to worry about her dad suddenly coming back. But Ding Ji was different. In order to take good care of Qiao Zijin, besides staying by Qiao Zijin's side, Ding Ji had to satisfy all of Qiao Zijin's other demands. Qiao Nan had heard from the nurse that Qiao Zijin had never stopped with her antics even though she had been hospitalized. Since she could not go out to shop, Qiao Zijin would often get bored and ask Ding Ji to buy some fashion magazines for her. Otherwise, she would have her cravings. At those times, Ding Ji would go around to run errands for Qiao Zijin without any complaints. As such, in order to avoid meeting Ding Ji and causing an unnecessary ruckus, Qiao Nan had no intention of staying in the hospital for any longer than was necessary. All she wanted was to leave as soon as possible. Only by taking advantage of the Qiao family being ignorant and her quick actions would she be able to gain what was rightfully hers and resolve this matter successfully. Actually, I got all the discharge procedures done before you came. He had already prepared the 3 months' worth of Miss Chiao's hospitalization bills. No matter how hefty the sum was, he had no choice but to part with it. But he had not expected that Miss Chiao wanted to get discharged early even though she could have stayed in the hospital for a longer period of time. Upon confirming that Qiao Nan and Ding Ji were truly worlds apart, the driver was exceptionally grateful. It was true that he wanted to take responsibility for what he had done, but he did not want to become a sacrificial lamb just because of his upright morals. After roughly understanding what Qiao Nan meant, the driver got on board and helped Qiao Nan with her discharge procedures without hesitation. That way, the duo could leave immediately. All right, then I won't waste any more time. Let's go to the police station. Qiao Nan nodded in satisfaction. There was no reason for Qiao Nan to not be happy now that she had managed to spend even less time in the hospital. Thus, Qiao Nan and the driver walked side by side and left. Ding Ji, who had gone out to buy a magazine for Qiao Zijin, caught sight of the back view of the two of them leaving the hospital. Ding Ji frowned and her lips were tightly pursed together. She stared at the couple for a long time. Hey, why does that woman look like that wretched girl? But that woman looks chubbier than that stupid bunch of bones. I guess some people just have doppelgangers. Qiao Nan was almost 40 and had no close male friends, let alone a partner. What she had just seen was clearly a husband fetching his wife who had just been discharged, so there was no way that woman could have been Qiao Nan. Ding Ji shook her head and thought nothing more of it. Remembering that her beloved daughter was still waiting for her magazine to kill time, Ding Ji hastened her steps and rushed to the newsstand. Qiao Nan, who had been sitting in the car, looked around out of boredom and happened to see Ding Ji rushing toward the newsstand. This scene only made Qiao Nan's lips curl up into a sneer. She said nothing about it and did not tell the man beside her that the woman whom he was most afraid of had just passed by. Thankfully, all of the car's windows were one-way mirrors such that passengers in the car would be able to see the people outside, but the people outside would not be able to look into the car. Otherwise, knowing Ding Ji's temper, she would definitely have rushed up and grabbed the driver's collar, demanding 500,000 yuan compensation from him. If he refused, he should not even think of leaving. Qiao Nan very kindly decided not to remind the man sitting beside her about such an unpleasant possibility. The duo rushed down to the police station as quickly as possible and settled the matter. As for Qiao Nan's hospitalization bills, Qiao Nan had forked out 100,000 yuan. The driver had paid for any outstanding amount above that initial 100,000 yuan. Xiaonan did not really care how much more the driver had forked out because he had handed a cash card with a stored value of 300,000 yuan over to her and had given her the PIN number. If you have any problems in the future, feel free to contact me. Even though Xiaonan had been discharged, the other party was afraid that there would be side effects from the accident. Xiaonan was affable and easy to deal with. Thus, the other party's attitude was similarly good. Chapter 1758, Heard Through the Grapevine. Now that he had finally resolved this matter, the driver heaved a huge sigh of relief. For each day that this matter dragged on, not only had the driver lost sleep, but he had also been unable to enjoy his meals properly. Thank you. Xiaonan took the card and parted ways with the other party. After leaving, Xiaonan did her due diligence and checked that there was indeed money in the card. What surprised Xiaonan was that the card did not contain 300,000 but 320,000 yuan. The other party had given her 20,000 yuan more than what had been agreed. Thinking about how she was indeed short of money, Xiaonan roughly guessed what the other party's intention was. After sending a thank you note to the other party, Xiaonan deleted the other party's number from her phone. She had no intention of contacting this unlucky man ever again. Now that she had money on hand, she was not anxious at all. The moment she returned to her rented apartment, which was the size of a bird's nest, Xiaonan quickly packed up her luggage. She had Ding Ji and Zijin's years of exploitation to thank. To be honest, other than a few pieces of clothing, she had nothing else to pack. Since the house was rented, there were many things in the apartment that belonged to the landlord and had nothing to do with Xiaonan. Once she finished packing her belongings, she explained to the landlord that she would no longer be leasing the apartment and wanted to return the place. As such, she requested the landlord to conduct a check on his apartment. If everything was in place, she would return her deposit and she would move away immediately. Xiaonan had lived in this apartment for 10 whole years. The landlord was old acquaintances with Xiaonan by now and knew how Xiaonan was as a person. After glancing through the apartment and taking the keys from Xiaonan, the landlord graciously handed over Xiaonan's deposit. Before Xiaonan left, she cautiously asked, "Are you moving back to stay with your parents?" If that was really the case, that little girl of the Qiao family might as well continue staying here. "No, I'm moving on. But I haven't really thought through about where I'll be moving to. I'll be staying in a motel for a few days for now." Move back to the Qiao family's house? To be the Qiao family's maid who would not only be unpaid but would also have to fork out her money? That's good news. Really good. Hurry and take your leave. The landlord knew all too clearly about Xiaonan's situation. She had given Xiaonan advice in the past, but Xiaonan refused to heed her advice and had always devoted her whole life to the Qiao family. The landlord wondered what Xiaonan had experienced that she had suddenly come to such a realization. As a bystander, seeing this change in Xiaonan meant that the anger that she had been holding in could finally be released. With her pent-up anger released, she was in a much better mood. "But you're really good-tempered. With a family like that, if it had been someone else in your place, they would have. Forget it. Let's not talk about it. Remember to lead your life well in the future. People nowadays always say that nothing can compare to money, not even your relationship with your parents. Lead a good life, okay?" The landlord could not say anything else but stuffed some money into Xiaonan's hand, on top of the deposit that she had already returned. With parents like that, the landlord knew that Xiaonan did not have much money. Otherwise, she would never have stayed in this bird's nest of an apartment for 10 whole years. Why had she done so? Because it was cheap. After waking up from her dream, even though the autumn heat had passed, Xiaonan felt as cold as the brutal winter winds. It was as though there was no warmth at all, and the freezing cold was penetrating into her bones. But with the care of people like her nurses and landlord, Xiaonan could muster up a reluctant smile. "Thank you." Because she had nothing to her name, she did not know what she could do other than saying thank you. The landlord sighed. It's not easy for you either. Remember to lead a good life and treat yourself well after you move away. Try your best to stay away from the Chiao family. Although it is true that we shouldn't be heartless, you shouldn't be bullied like that either. You have to be more open-minded. Family may not always be reliable. If it was possible, the landlord wanted more so to tell Chiao Nan that she could not possibly intend to stay single for the rest of her life. Because Chiao Nan had suffered so much in the past 40 years, even more so should she find a man who would treat her well and take good care of her. 2 heads were better than 1, after all. If she had someone by her side, Chiao Nan's life would not be as tough as it had been. Having read between the lines, Chiao Nan laughed bitterly. Finding a partner for marriage was not that easy. Having had such a realistic dream, finding another man to get married to would not be as easy as it sounded. Thinking about her husband in her dream, Zai Sheng, Chiao Nan's heart ached badly. In reality, she had never had any contact with Zai Sheng. The Zai family did not like to be exposed by the media, and as such, Chiao Nan had never seen any news regarding Zai Sheng. That was why she could not understand why she had gotten together with Zai Sheng, who had such a high status, and had even had 3 children together. Did her dreams reflect her thoughts in the day? Was it because she had been too oppressed by Ding Ji and Chiao Zijin that she had dreamed of that Chief Zai, who had once been closer to her, to pull her out of this sea of misery? No matter what it was, a dream was only a dream. It was not real. It was indeed time for her to wake up from that dream. If possible, she would strive hard to embrace her next phase in life. She was only 40 years old and could still live a long life. If she did not find a way to better her life, what would she do for the next few decades? Let's go. The landlord sent Chiao Nan off. Chiao Nan knew that even though she had cut off contact with the Chiao family, there was no use in moving. After ending her lease, the next thing Chiao Nan did was to resign from her job. If it had not been for Chiao Nan's good performance and good work ethics in the past, the factory would have fired her based on her 2 months' absence while she was in the hospital. Upon hearing the news that Chiao Nan was resigning, Chiao Nan's superior specially requested for the accounting department to pay Chiao Nan an additional 2 months' worth of salary. In total, Chiao Nan was given 3 months' worth of salary before leaving. When you were in the hospital for the past 2 months, we were quite busy here in the factory. We accepted quite a few new transactions, so we couldn't afford to take time off. But we did send our representatives to visit you at the hospital. We're all very happy that you've been discharged. What are your plans now that you've resigned? Are you planning on staying home to recuperate? Her superior thought it was strange. Could it be that the Chiao family had finally found their conscience and was letting Chiao Nan quit her job to rest and recuperate at home since she had not entirely recovered after her accident? The busier things got at the factory, the greater the work intensity. Chiao Nan's superior had always known that Chiao Nan had always been taking on part-time work as well, but he did not care what his employees did after work hours as long as they did not make use of their working hours or lose their efficiency. Chiao Nan's supervisor had not only heard about her family's situation but had also witnessed it with his own eyes. Chapter 1759, Angry. There had been several instances where Chiao Nan's birth mother had barged into the factory, demanding to check for herself how much Chiao Nan earned in a month. At times, when it came to the day when the factory gave out their wages, Chiao Nan's mom would immediately appear at the factory and wipe Chiao Nan's salary clean. That was why Chiao Nan's superior did not care about Chiao Nan's private life. Chiao Nan did not live with the Chiao family and had to pay for her own expenses. But every month, her mom would take away her entire month's worth of salary without fail. If Chiao Nan did not take on part-time work, she would probably starve to death. Because he knew that the Chiao family pestered Chiao Nan like blood-sucking devils, Chiao Nan's superior was full of doubts when Chiao Nan approached him to tender her resignation. It was true that the work intensity at the factory was slightly higher than usual, but the pay was good and their wages rose a little every year. Now that society had progressed and developed, the living standards had also been raised. They would not be able to survive without a raise in their salaries. Initially, he had thought that the Chiao family would force Chiao Nan to work in the factory up until her death because of her high salary. No, I'm thinking of moving away and changing my lifestyle. I'm sorry for the trouble I caused in the past, but I guess there might be more trouble brewing. When that time comes, just leave them alone. Anyway, I won't be around, so they won't be able to do anything. Oh. Her superior was taken aback and asked cautiously, "Have you finally come to a realization?" Even as a bystander, he could not bear to see how the Chiao family treated Chiao Nan. Chiao Nan's temper was too good for her own good. In fact, Chiao Nan probably did not have a temper at all. For her whole life, she had always been listening to the Chiao family and had never had her own personal space. "Yes, I've already died once. I've come to my senses." Chiao Nan did not elaborate on that, but Chiao Nan had taken note of what her superior had said earlier. "I don't have any impression of anyone from the factory coming to visit me in the past 2 months." Her superior bit on his lip. "They were not careful and ran into your mom." As for what had happened afterward, her superior did not want to talk about it. He knew that it would just be a waste of his breath talking about it. Chiao Nan had no reaction to being bullied by her mom, so it went without saying Chiao Nan would not be able to do anything now that the employees of the factory had been scolded and insulted by her mom. Chiao Nan had gotten into a car accident, after all, and had sustained injuries serious enough to warrant hospitalization. Everyone knew that Chiao Nan led a hard life. As such, everyone had chipped in and pooled together a sum of money to express their concern for Chiao Nan after such a tragedy had happened to her. The representative had not been able to meet Chiao Nan but bumped into Ding Jiyi instead. Ding Jiyi kept Chiao Nan's monthly salary, and as such, she had a faint impression of Chiao Nan's colleagues at the factory. The moment she saw the other party, Ding Jiyi guessed the situation and quickly said, "Are you here to see Chiao Nan? I'm sorry that you had to make your way down." Chiao Nan sustained quite severe injuries in this accident and is still recuperating in her ward. The doctor won't let any outsiders in. When Chiao Nan recovers and returns to the factory, I'll be sure to get her to thank you all for your concern. Oh, you guys are too kind. You shouldn't have bothered bringing so many things to visit. Come, hand all these things over to me. Ding Jiyi had sharp eyes and could tell straight away that the fruit basket was worth several hundred yuan. Amongst them were several expensive and nutritious fruits that Ding Jiyi had never been willing to splurge on. This was just as well. She could wash them and let Jiao Zijin have them. The valuable fruit basket caught Ding Jiyi's eyes indeed, but none more so than the envelope in the fruit basket. It was so thick. It could not possibly contain fruits. No matter how she looked at it, the envelope had to contain cash. Looking at its thickness, Ding Jiyi guessed that it should contain at least 10,000 yuan. Ding Jiyi had not expected that Chiao Nan's colleagues from the factory would be so generous as to send so much money over to Chiao Nan now that she was hospitalized. With 10,000 yuan, she would be able to make Zijin's stay in the hospital even more comfortable. Didn't Zijin want some magazines? She would go to the newsstand and ask for similar titles and buy them all for Zijin. After making up her mind, Ding Jiyi did not even care about the other party's astonishment and grabbed the fruit basket over from the other party with great force. "Thank you. You can leave." Knowing the kind of person Ding Jiyi was, the colleague refused to let go. Ding Jiyi was no match for that young man. Upset, Ding Jiyi spat out unpleasant words. "Hey, I think you're really strange. Isn't this for our Chiao Nan? Aren't you giving it to my daughter? Why aren't you handing it over? This isn't yours. It's probably something that your colleagues came together to give to my younger daughter, isn't it? Are you trying to claim this fruit basket for yourself because it's valuable and even has a huge sum of money in it?" The colleague flushed red with anger and barely stopped himself from rebuking her. This was like the pot calling the kettle black. Because they knew that Jiaonan led a hard life under her mom's control, they were afraid that Jiaonan would have no money to buy supplements for herself now that she was hospitalized. That was why they had pooled together some funds for Jiaonan. If the money were to fall into Ding Jiyi's hands, Jiaonan would not get a single cent of it. No way was he going to let go. He wanted to personally hand it over to Jiaonan. But he had never expected that Ding Jiyi would be just as thick-skinned toward other people as she was toward Jiaonan. She was completely shameless. As a grown-up man, he was being accused by Ding Jiyi in public of wanting to steal a patient's money. Especially given Ding Jiyi's relationship to Jiaonan, a normal bystander would simply assume that a biological mother would never hurt her own daughter. In that way, it was definitely the colleague, who had come to send the money over, that was at fault. In the face of such public criticism, the colleague felt that he had never been so embarrassed in his entire life. He had done nothing, yet he had to become the scapegoat and take the blame. In the end, that male colleague could not stand it any longer and his face turned purple. He let go of the basket and it landed right in Ding Jiyi's hands. Following that, the male colleague immediately ran out of the hospital. If he were ever to fall sick in the future, he would never visit this hospital. It was way too embarrassing. The male colleague then told his boss about this incident. He had no other choice. After all, he owed his boss an explanation since the money had not been handed over to Jiaonan. What if Jiaonan returned to work knowing nothing about that 10,000 yuan? If their boss were to ask her about it and there was a discrepancy, everyone would misunderstand that he had been greedy and stolen Jiaonan's 10,000 yuan. If that really happened, he would feel so wronged. Knowing that his good intentions had been trampled upon by Ding Jiyi and that Ding Jiyi had even humiliated his own employee, their superior was infuriated. Who on earth had no temper? Chapter 1760, Keeping Their Mouths Shut. But what could he do? This was his employee's own family matters. If Jiaonan could not stand up for herself and lift her head up, there was nothing they could do no matter how unhappy they were. Her boss had mentioned the issue of 10,000 yuan firstly to express the importance the company placed on loyal employees like Jiaonan. If the company did not show any sign of concern when a loyal employee got into an accident and was hospitalized, would that not disappoint all employees? Secondly, her boss meant to give Jiaonan a heads up so that she would at least have an idea of the existence of this 10,000 yuan. He hated to see Jiaonan being so foolish, not knowing anything, and even being controlled by Ding Jiyi. To put it harshly, the 10,000 yuan was also a favor. Ding Jiyi had taken the money in the end. If the favor needed to be returned in the future, Jiaonan would be the one who had to do so. She would not be able to shirk her responsibility at that time. Her boss did not wish for such a good employee to be mistaken for having poor character and morals just because of her amazing mother, Ding Jiyi. Jiaonan took a deep breath as her face flushed red. "I'm so sorry. Who went to visit me the other day? I'll apologize to him personally." In the face of money, she could care less about her relationship with her daughter, much less a colleague of a daughter whom she did not favor in the first place. For the sake of money, her mom could say the most unpleasant things and do the most ridiculous and ugly things. Even though she had not been present that day, Jiaonan could completely imagine how badly her colleague must have been treated. "Forget it. It's his rest day today, but I can relay your message to him. It's not your fault either." Her boss sighed helplessly. "I understand your plans. You won't be our factory's employee in the future, but I still hope that your life will get better. Jiaonan, you should really love yourself a little more." Everyone who knew Jiaonan told her the same thing over and over again, to treat herself better and to love herself more. Sometimes, parents were not the most reliable. If she did not love herself, there would be no one else in this world who would love her. Tears welled up in Jiaonan's eyes and she sniffled. "I will, for sure. I will definitely love myself more in the future." Or perhaps, she would even love herself the most. Go on. Xiao Nan's boss saw that Xiao Nan had indeed changed from the past and had even taken his advice. If Xiao Nan could really keep to her word and love herself even more in the future, he would definitely be happy for Xiao Nan. Go on. Remember to live a good life. You're always welcome to visit us whenever you're free. I will. Goodbye. Xiao Nan gave a deep bow to express her gratitude for her leader. Only after that did she take the 3 months' worth of salary and leave. Even though her closest kin had been so cold-hearted toward her that she felt as though all the blood in her body had been frozen, just like it had been in her dream, outsiders who had no relation to her were constantly giving her warmth, telling her that winter was not the only season in the year and that brutal cold was not the only temperature that existed. Xiao Nan ran around visiting all her contacts that she had made before her accident to bid farewell to them and to settle her work. When all was finally done, it was already 8 o'clock in the evening. Xiao Nan had already ended her lease for her rented apartment, and Xiao Nan was not the least bit willing to take a step into the Qiao family's courtyard. Thus, Xiao Nan found a decently clean and inexpensive motel to spend the night. Early the next morning, Xiao Nan packed up her light luggage but could not help but feel slightly lost and helpless. There was no need to hesitate about leaving the Qiao family and moving away to start a new life afresh. Leaving the Qiao family was a must. But where should she go to start her new life? After giving it some thought, Xiao Nan made a decision inwardly. Taking her identity card and household registration with her, she would leave Pingcheng, a city that had plagued her with a whole myriad of problems, to another city that would allow her to have some peace, Qingshui town. Sitting in the car and looking at Pingcheng that was growing ever smaller in the distance, Xiao Nan smiled in relief. She had finally left her old life behind. Perhaps, she was really not suited for life in Pingcheng. In both her dream world and reality, she had not led a good life in Pingcheng. It was only when she left Pingcheng that she had finally been able to get relief. Now that she had finally left Pingcheng, Xiao Nan felt as though a huge stone had been lifted off her chest. But with her departure, chaos ensued in a certain corner of Pingcheng. In front of Xiao Nan, Xiao Dongliang felt guilty for having his eyes on Xiao Nan's kidney. He had not been able to be as brazen and shameless as Ding Ji, who thought that Xiao Nan's sacrifices were justified. Xiao Dongliang felt guilty and sorry toward Xiao Nan and could not face her. As such, he tried to avoid any contact with Xiao Nan as much as possible. The better Xiao Nan's health was, the more obvious Xiao Dongliang's behavior got. Xiao Dongliang had always sent breakfast over to Xiao Nan personally but had always asked the nurse to pass it to Xiao Nan. He himself would leave straight away after handing the meal over to the nurse. That afternoon, he had personally seen Xiao Nan finish her meal. He had only stayed because he had wanted to chat with Xiao Nan's doctor about her progress and how well she was recovering. As for dinner, Xiao Dongliang had gotten used to asking other people to send Xiao Nan's meal to the hospital for the nurse to hand it over to Xiao Nan. Thankfully, Xiao Dongliang had done this out of guilt. That had given Xiao Nan the chance to settle her past and leave everything behind. The moment Xiao Dongliang left after lunchtime, Xiao Nan quickly finished her discharge procedures and left the hospital as well. Quite a few nurses in the hospital knew about Xiao Nan's departure. Perhaps it was also because of Xiao Nan's good fortune. Xiao Nan had once told that nurse, who had been extremely concerned about her, that the Qiao family had their sights set on her own kidney for Qiao Zaijian's sake. When the person that Xiao Dongliang had entrusted the tasks of delivering Xiao Nan's dinner arrived, the nurse on duty almost let slip that Xiao Nan had already been discharged and wanted to question why they were still sending lunch boxes over. Right at that moment, the kind nurse, who had been taking care of Xiao Nan all along, stopped her colleague just in time. She accepted the lunch box as usual and said that she would pass it to Xiao Nan later. With that, the other party left feeling assured. "Why didn't you let me tell him?" the colleague asked out of confusion after the other party left. The kind nurse laughed. "Anyway, he's already sent the lunch box over. He looked like he's rushing off for his night shift." If you had told him that Miss Chiao had been discharged, wouldn't he have to bring this lunch box to his workplace? How inconvenient would that be? At the very most, we can hand this lunch box over to the Chiao family tomorrow when they come. It isn't very nice to always bother others, after all.